Want to speak real English from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at EnglishClass101.com.
Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about some English greetings and their responses. This lesson has been prepared to present American English greetings. Let's get started. Okay, I first want to begin with the most basic and most casual greetings that we use. I've marked some of these with a star, like you'll see here. That means that when you respond to this greeting, you can use the same word. You don't need to worry about a special response. Just use the same word that you heard the person use when they greet you. So these two, the casual, friendly, hey and hi, are very common. We use these with friends, coworkers, colleagues. It's fine to use at any time of day. I included yo here as well. Yo is very casual, probably don't use this one at work, but you can use this with your friends, your close friends, and your family members if you like yo. So when someone says hey, just say hey, or if someone uses hi, just respond with hi. Hi sounds a little more stiff than hey. Hey sounds a little more relaxed, a little more friendly. Yo is really relaxed, super casual. You might hear young people use yo a lot more than older people. The next expression here is hello. Hello. You can use hello to greet people that you meet face to face. That's fine. But we usually use hello as the standard phone greeting. It's used when we pick up the phone. Hello, and you can say my name is, or hello, this is, or hello, Alicia speaking, for example. You can use hello on the phone. We tend to use it mostly on the phone. It can be used, it is correct to greet someone with hello in everyday life, face to face, but it might sound a little less friendly than hi or another greeting I'll talk about later. So hello is good for the phone usually. I would recommend using hello for the phone. Okay, then let's go to these three questions. We can respond to these three questions with the same response. Let's read the questions first. First one, how are you? How are you? You'll hear native speakers reduce this a lot. This question is not clearly pronounced as how are you, but we'll say, how are ya? How are ya? It sounds much shorter. How are ya? Instead of how are you? How are ya? How are ya? The answer, good. You? Good. You? This is the standard response. Another question, how's it going? How's it going? How is it going? It means your life. How is it going? How's it going? How's it going? How's your life, in other words? Good. You? We can use the same response. My life is going good. Everything is good. So going means like happening. How is your life happening? How are things in your life? Another one, how are you doing? How are you doing? Very similar to how are you, just a slight variation. We added doing here. How are you doing? Just like how are you is reduced to how are ya, we can make this how ya, how you doing? So you'll notice I use this apostrophe mark. Apostrophe is this dash here, so it makes a short sound. I removed the G in doing. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Sounds more casual and is much more commonly used than how are you doing? How you doing? Again, the answer, good. You? So I chose good here because this is the most common response to these questions. You can say great. You can say all right. You can say, not bad. All of those are fine. If you give a negative response, for example, if you say, not so good, or I feel sick, or I'm really tired, or I'm upset, you should be prepared to explain that. It's like you're starting a conversation. This is the standard response. The other person will probably say, good, and then they'll continue to the next part of their conversation. So these are some listening points. How are you changes to how are ya, and how are you doing changes to how you doing. A little more natural, a little more friendly too. Okay, let's continue to some time of day greetings. They are good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. These tend to sound a little bit more formal than just hey or hi or other greetings I'll talk about later. So, good morning, used in the morning, very commonly used at work. When you arrive at the office and you see your coworkers, we use good morning to say hello first thing in the morning. Good afternoon is a little more commonly used in workplaces or perhaps in like client or customer relationship situations. So for example, if I'm teaching a lesson and I see my students in the classroom, I come to the classroom, I say good afternoon to my students because it's sort of, there's a little bit of distance there. Good evening as well. Good evening would begin like a formal event. We could begin a formal event with good evening. We could use it at a restaurant, for example, again in a customer-client relationship. You could use it with friends and coworkers, I suppose, but it might sound a little too polite. Good evening. So it's not wrong, but it might sound a little bit formal. We would probably, with friends in the evening, we would probably just say hey or hello or how are you? That sounds a little more friendly. So to respond to these, just repeat. Again, I've marked this with a star here. Just repeat. If someone says good morning to you, you can say good morning. Something else we do here is we remove good. So this is to make it a little bit more casual. And we'll remove, as I did with doing down here, this apostrophe. We'll drop this G sound and add an apostrophe here. It's more difficult to do with afternoon. But instead of saying good morning, like clearly pronouncing everything, we'll often drop good and say morning. So there's no G sound there, morning. I end on the N sound. Or just afternoon or evening. So it sounds much more friendly and it's not quite as polite actually. So if someone says this to you, like morning, you can just say morning. You can use the G sound as well. It's up to you to choose. Some people ask, what's the difference between good evening and have a good evening? The difference is good evening is a greeting, a way to say hello. Have a good evening is a way to say goodbye. So when you say have a good day, have a good evening, you're saying goodbye actually. So that's the difference. If you want to say hello, please use good evening. If you want to say goodbye, use have a good evening. Also, please be careful. You'll notice good night is not here. Good night is also a way to say goodbye, or especially like for children, like from parents to children, a way to say like the day is finished just before bed. So good night is used just before we go to sleep as well. So again, a goodbye. So please be careful. Not have a good evening or good night. These are greetings we can use. Good evening is a much better greeting. Well, it's the correct greeting to use. So please use good evening. Don't use good night. Okay, let's continue to the next couple. These are related. You might not know at first, but what's up? What's up? This is a question that causes people a lot of nervousness, I think. How do I respond to this? So just answer not much, not much. This is the standard reply. Just like good is the standard reply here, use not much to answer what's up. What's up? Not much. What's up? Nothing is also okay. Nothing. What's up? Nothing. Nothing, or again, we'll often drop this G sound, nothing or nothing. So that sounds more casual. So what's up? Not much. You? Nothing. Or not much. The other person will probably say the same thing. Again, if you choose to use something like, oh, I had a bad day, or you start to explain like a difficult situation, or you hint that something bad happened, you should probably be prepared to talk about that. So what's up? Not much. You? Nothing. That's a very typical greeting, actually. Okay, so then this sup comes from what's up. It comes from this S-U-P. What's up? So this is a very casual way of saying what's up. What's up is casual. This is even more casual. Sup. So you can say not much, or you can just reply to sup with sup. So you might use this, again, very close friends. Sup, sup, like That's it. It's like saying hello, saying what's up, what's new with you, but just really quick, really short. Sup, sup. Okay, let's move along then to kind of some more special use greetings. Depending on the situation, you might need to say hello to someone you have not seen for a long time. These are expressions you can use to do that. First one, I haven't seen you in so long, or I haven't seen you in ages. Ages, an age is a very long time, so ages shows a very, very long time. So I have not seen you. I have not seen you in so long. Another one, very common, long time no see, long time no see. One more, it's been a while, it's been a while, where this it's is actually it has been a while. It has been a while since I last saw you. It's been a while since I last saw you, but we only say it's been a while. We drop the last part of that. One more, nice to see you again, or it's nice to see you again, nice to see you again. So these all are like greetings we can use when we haven't seen the other person for a long time. So how do we answer this? We can answer all of these with the same pattern. First, agree. Yeah, it's been a long time. So again, you can use these expressions, you know, yeah, long time no see, or yeah, it's been a while, or I said, yeah, it's been a long time. So first, agree with the person, and then ask a follow-up. How are things? How are things? You can use this similarly to how are you or how's it going. How are things means how is your life? How are things? Good. The answer is good. How are things? Good. Or how are things? Busy. How are things? All right. Those are all very common, very standard responses to use. Others, if you want to level up your grammar a bit, how have you been? How have you been and what have you been up to? So you'll notice here, the grammar here is very similar to these expressions that we talked about over here. How have you been? This is like a past perfect way of asking, how are you? So how are you now? How have you been in the period since I saw you last? Since the last time I saw you up until now, how have you been? That's how we can ask about that. Same thing, what have you been up to? What have you been up to is like the past perfect question of what's up? What's up? So you'll see this up, what is up now, what is up, with what have you been up to? So in other words, since I last saw you until now, what did you do? What have you been doing? So asking about those activities in that period since you last met that person. So this will change depending on your activities. You can say, for example, for this one, what have you been up to? You can answer with, for example, nothing, just work. If you have no special news. What have you been up to? Nothing, just work. So that's fine. If you have special news, you can say, you know, I got married, or I moved, or I got a new job. Something quick is the best way to answer this. For this one, how have you been? Go back to this. Good. You? So very, very simple answers are the best. Okay, let's go on to two more kind of special use greetings then. First one, it's great to finally meet you. It's great to finally meet you. So you'll see if I remove finally here, this becomes a very common greeting. It's great to meet you. It's nice to meet you. But if you're meeting someone that you admire or you really respect, or you were really excited to meet that person, like you're a fan, they're a famous musician or a celebrity or an artist or an athlete, for example, you're really excited to meet that person, you can say, it's great to finally meet you. This shows the listener that you were really looking forward to meeting them, to having the chance to meet with them. If someone says this to you, or if you use this with someone, a typical response is, thank you. It's nice to meet you too. So they'll typically say something like, thank you, or that's really nice. It's nice to meet you too. So this is just the same as any other first greeting, first time meeting someone. It's nice to meet you too. Thanks, it's nice to meet you too. Another one. This one you might hear actually when talking with friends and meeting new people, especially if you're studying or working in another country. The expression is, I've heard so much about you. I've heard so much about you. This I've heard so much about you. And sometimes I've heard so much about you from my colleagues, or I've heard so much about you from my roommate. So using from here shows where that person got the information. So this may or may not be included. I've heard so much about you. A typical response is, really? I hope nothing bad, or I hope you haven't heard anything bad. So this is kind of a very casual way to respond. I hope nothing bad, meaning I hope you haven't heard anything bad about me. So this shows that the speaker has gotten information, has gained information about the person they're meeting, but this is still the first time meeting that person. So this tends to be used in situations where the speaker has heard positive information. If you've heard negative information about a person, I don't recommend using this expression. This has a positive feel about it. I've heard so much about you. Tends to sound very happy and cheerful. So you can say, really? I hope nothing bad, or I hope it's good. So that's kind of a friendly way to start a conversation with someone who already has some information about you. So this is a quick introduction to some very common English greetings. I hope that that was helpful for you, and I hope that you got some ideas for responses to these greetings. Of course, if you have any questions or comments or want to practice greetings, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Also, if you like the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.